I bet you didn't know how West Bengal, once an industrial powerhouse, saw its economic glory fade over the decades. In this video, we'll explore the rise and fall of Bengal's economy, uncovering the factors that led to its initial success and subsequent decline. From the bustling factories of the 1960s to the challenges faced in the modern era, this is a tale of lost glory and lessons learned. Stay tuned to understand the full story of Bengal's economic journey. In the 1960s, West Bengal stood as a beacon of industrial activity in India. The state boasted a diverse and thriving industrial base, contributing significantly to the nation's economy. Kolkata, the state capital, was a bustling metropolis, a hub of commerce and trade, attracting talent and investment from across the country. This period witnessed the flourishing of traditional industries and the emergence of new sectors, promising sustained growth and prosperity. The legacy of Bengal's industrial prowess was rooted in its rich history. From the days of British rule, the region had developed a strong manufacturing sector, particularly in textiles and jute. This foundation provided a springboard for further industrial expansion in the post-independence era. The availability of skilled labour, robust infrastructure and access to raw materials further fueled this growth. The state's strategic location also facilitated trade and commerce, contributing to its economic dynamism. The government's focus on industrial development played a crucial role in Bengal's economic success. Policies aimed at promoting investment, encouraging entrepreneurship and developing infrastructure created a conducive environment for businesses to thrive. The state's educational institutions also played a vital role in producing a skilled workforce equipped to meet the demands of a rapidly growing industrial sector. This combination of factors propelled West Bengal to the forefront of India's industrial landscape. The socio-economic impact of this industrial boom was significant. Employment opportunities surged, leading to improved living standards for many. The growth of industries also spurred the development of ancillary businesses and services, creating a multiplier effect on the economy. This period of prosperity fostered a sense of optimism and hope for the future, solidifying West Bengal's position as a leading industrial powerhouse in India. The jute industry was the undisputed king of West Bengal's economy during this era. The state's fertile lands provided the ideal conditions for jute cultivation, and numerous jute mills dotted the landscape, processing the raw material into finished goods. The demand for jute products, both domestically and internationally, was high, making it a major source of revenue and employment for the state. The jute industry's dominance shaped the economic and social fabric of West Bengal. Tea, another legacy of British rule, continued to be a significant contributor to the state's economy. The lush tea gardens of Darjeeling and other regions produced high-quality tea that was exported worldwide. The tea industry provided livelihoods for thousands of workers and generated substantial revenue for the state. The distinct aroma and flavour of Bengal's tea cemented its place in the global market. The engineering sector also emerged as a key player in West Bengal's industrial landscape. The state's skilled workforce and access to resources made it an attractive location for engineering firms. From heavy machinery to consumer goods, the engineering sector produced a wide range of products catering to both domestic and international markets. This diversification further strengthened the state's economy. The confluence of these diverse industries created a robust and resilient economic ecosystem. The interdependence of these sectors fostered a synergistic relationship, driving growth and development. The prosperity generated by these industries trickled down to various segments of society, contributing to a higher standard of living and a sense of economic well-being. This period marked the zenith of West Bengal's industrial might. The late 1960s and early 1970s witnessed a period of significant political instability in West Bengal. The rise of leftist ideologies and the Naxalite movement led to widespread social unrest and violent clashes. This volatile political climate created an environment of uncertainty, deterring investment and disrupting industrial activity. The focus shifted from economic development to political struggles, sowing the seeds of decline for the state's economy. Labour unrest became a major challenge for industries in West Bengal. Frequent strikes and lockouts disrupted production, leading to losses and impacting the state's economic output. The strained relationship between labour unions and industrial management further exacerbated the situation. The demand for higher wages and better working conditions often clashed with the economic realities of the industries, creating a cycle of conflict. The Naxalite movement, with its focus on armed struggle and land redistribution, further destabilized the state. The movement's activities disrupted agricultural production and created an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. This further compounded the economic challenges faced by the state as resources were diverted to address the security concerns. The political turmoil cast a long shadow over West Bengal's economic prospects. The combined impact of political instability and labour unrest created a hostile environment for businesses. Investors became wary of committing capital to the state, fearing further disruptions and losses. This led to a decline in investment, hindering industrial growth and contributing to the state's economic downturn. The once vibrant industrial landscape began to lose its sheen. The economic policies adopted by the successive governments in West Bengal further contributed to the state's decline. The focus on socialist principles and state control hindered private investment and stifled entrepreneurial activity. The bureaucratic hurdles and red tape discouraged businesses from expanding or setting up new ventures. The lack of a conducive policy environment stifled innovation and growth. The emphasis on protecting existing industries, particularly the jute industry, prevented the diversification of the state's economy. While the jute industry had once been a source of strength, its decline in the global market was not adequately addressed. The government's reluctance to embrace new technologies and adapt to changing market dynamics further weakened the industry. This resistance to change hampered the state's ability to compete in the evolving global landscape. The lack of investment in research and development further limited the state's ability to innovate and adapt to changing market demands. The focus on traditional industries and the neglect of emerging sectors hindered the development of new technologies and products. This failure to embrace innovation further contributed to the state's economic stagnation. The outdated industrial practices and technologies employed by many industries in West Bengal made them uncompetitive in the global market. The lack of modernization and the resistance to adopting new technologies led to declining productivity and efficiency. This further eroded the state's competitiveness, contributing to its economic woes. Section 5: Crumbling Foundations, Infrastructure Woes. The deteriorating infrastructure in West Bengal played a significant role in hindering industrial growth. The lack of adequate power supply, poor transportation networks, and inadequate port facilities created logistical challenges for businesses. The unreliable infrastructure increased costs and reduced efficiency, making it difficult for industries to compete effectively. The crumbling infrastructure became a major bottleneck for the state's economic development. The inadequate power supply was a major constraint for industries. Frequent power outages disrupted production and increased costs, impacting the profitability of businesses. The unreliable power supply also deterred new investments, as businesses were hesitant to set up operations in a state where power availability was uncertain. The power woes became a chronic problem for the state's industrial sector. The poor transportation network further compounded the challenges faced by industries. The inadequate road and rail connectivity made it difficult to transport raw materials and finished goods efficiently. The delays and increased transportation costs further eroded the competitiveness of businesses. The lack of efficient transportation networks hindered the state's ability to integrate with the national and global economy. The inadequate port facilities also hampered trade and commerce. The limited capacity and outdated infrastructure of the state's ports restricted the volume of goods that could be handled. This created bottlenecks and delays, impacting the export and import of goods. The inadequate port facilities further constrained the state's economic potential. Section 6. A comparative look: Bengal's lagging economy. Compared to other Indian states, West Bengal's economic performance lagged significantly. States like Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu witnessed rapid industrial growth and development, leaving West Bengal behind. These states adopted more market-friendly policies, attracted higher levels of investment and fostered a more conducive environment for businesses to thrive. The comparative analysis highlighted the shortcomings of West Bengal's economic policies and practices. The states that outperformed West Bengal invested heavily in infrastructure development. They created robust power grids, developed efficient transportation networks, and built modern port facilities. This investment in infrastructure provided a strong foundation for industrial growth and facilitated trade and commerce. The contrast with West Bengal's crumbling infrastructure was stark. These states also adopted policies that encouraged private investment and entrepreneurship. They streamlined bureaucratic procedures, reduced red tape, and created a more business-friendly environment. This attracted both domestic and foreign investment, fueling industrial growth and creating employment opportunities. The difference in policy approaches contributed significantly to the divergent economic outcomes. The states that succeeded in attracting investment also focused on developing skilled human capital. They invested in education and training programs to equip their workforce with the skills needed for the modern industrial sector. This focus on human capital development provided a competitive advantage, attracting businesses and driving innovation. West Bengal's failure to invest adequately in human capital further hampered its economic prospects. Section 7. The Naxalite Movement, a socio-economic disruption. The Naxalite movement, which emerged in the late 1960s, had a profound impact on West Bengal's socio-economic landscape. The movement's ideology, rooted in Marxist-Leninist Maoist thought, aimed to overthrow the existing social order through armed struggle. The Naxalites targeted landlords, government officials and infrastructure, creating a climate of fear and instability. This disruption further hampered the state's economic development. The Naxalites' activities in rural areas disrupted agricultural production and distribution. Their attacks on landlords and their attempts to redistribute land created chaos and uncertainty in the agricultural sector. This led to a decline in agricultural output, impacting food security and exacerbating economic hardships. The Naxalite movement's impact on agriculture further weakened the state's economy. The movement's violence and disruption deterred investment and hindered industrial growth. Businesses were reluctant to invest in a state where their operations could be targeted by the Naxalites. The fear of violence and instability created an unfavorable business environment, further contributing to the state's economic decline. The Naxalite movement's impact extended beyond the rural areas, affecting the entire state's economy. The Naxalite movement also had a significant social impact. The violence and polarization created divisions within communities and fueled social unrest. The movement's ideology appealed to marginalized sections of society who felt neglected by the government and the existing social order. The Naxalite movement's social and political impact further complicated the state's challenges. Section 8. The Road Ahead: Challenges and Opportunities. West Bengal faces numerous challenges in its quest to reclaim its economic glory. The state needs to address its infrastructure deficit, improve its business environment, and invest in human capital development. The legacy of political instability and labour unrest needs to be overcome to attract investment and create a conducive environment for businesses to thrive. The state needs to chart a new course for sustainable economic development. The state needs to diversify its economy and move beyond its reliance on traditional industries. The declining jute industry needs to be revitalized through modernization and innovation. The state needs to promote the growth of new sectors such as information technology, tourism and services to create new employment opportunities and generate revenue. Diversification is crucial for long-term economic sustainability. West Bengal needs to improve its governance and administrative efficiency. The bureaucratic hurdles and red tape that discourage businesses need to be addressed. The state needs to create a transparent and efficient regulatory framework that fosters investor confidence. Improving governance is essential for attracting investment and promoting economic growth. The state needs to invest in education and skill development to create a skilled workforce that can meet the demands of the modern economy. The focus should be on providing quality education and training programs that equip individuals with the skills needed for the emerging sectors. Investing in human capital is crucial for long-term economic prosperity. Section 9, Resurgence and Reform, a Glimmer of Hope. In recent years, there have been some positive developments in West Bengal's economy. The state has witnessed some growth in the services sector, particularly in information technology and tourism. The government has taken some initiatives to improve infrastructure and attract investment. These efforts, while still nascent, offer a glimmer of hope for the state's economic revival. The state government has implemented some reforms to improve the business environment. Efforts have been made to streamline bureaucratic procedures and reduce red tape. The government has also taken steps to improve infrastructure, particularly in the power and transportation sectors. These reforms, while still in the early stages, are a step in the right direction. The state has also witnessed some growth in the tourism sector. The state's rich cultural heritage, historical sites, and natural beauty attract tourists from across the country and the world. The development of tourism infrastructure and the promotion of tourism destinations have contributed to the growth of this sector. Tourism has the potential to generate employment and revenue for the state. The state government has also taken some initiatives to promote skill development and entrepreneurship. Programs have been launched to provide training and support to aspiring entrepreneurs. These initiatives aim to create a more dynamic and entrepreneurial ecosystem in the state. Promoting entrepreneurship is crucial for creating new businesses and generating employment opportunities. Section 10. Conclusion: Reclaiming Bengal's Economic Legacy. West Bengal's journey from an industrial powerhouse to a state facing economic challenges is a complex tale of lost opportunities and missed chances. The state's decline was a result of a confluence of factors, including political instability, labor unrest, policy paralysis, and infrastructure woes. However, the state's rich history, cultural heritage, and human capital offer a foundation for its economic revival. The state needs to learn from its past mistakes and chart a new course for sustainable economic development. The focus should be on creating a conducive business environment, improving infrastructure, investing in human capital, and diversifying the economy. The state needs to embrace innovation and adapt to the changing global landscape. The state government needs to work in collaboration with the private sector to create a shared vision for economic growth. Public-private partnerships can play a crucial role in developing infrastructure, promoting innovation, and creating employment opportunities. The state needs to leverage its strengths and address its weaknesses to reclaim its economic legacy. The road to recovery will be long and challenging, but with the right policies and a concerted effort from all stakeholders, West Bengal can regain its lost glory and emerge as a leading economic force in India once again. The state's potential is immense, and with the right approach, it can achieve sustainable and inclusive economic growth, creating prosperity for all its citizens.